Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate everyone coming today. Interesting conversation. I will start by in preparation for today. I looked at the Trump accounts, and I know that those are not designed for newborns, not designed for retirement. They're designed for other aspects. But if you took $1,000 and you put it into a newborn's account every year for 18 years, first 18 years of their life, and it drew 7% interest until they were 67 years old, that would be $1 million in their account. $1 million in their account. And as you might conclude, maybe from some of the conversation we've already had in here, there is perhaps a reason for people not to trust government to be the ones in charge of their retirement. As much as we all want to protect Social Security, we have $38 trillion in national debt, and seemingly no will to correct these problems in the collective world that we live in. But how important for you? Let's start with you, Mr. Williams. How important is it to teach young people how money really works, and are we doing a very good job with it?
Senator Husted, I think that is a critically important question. And when I draft financial plans for clients, the difference of even 2 or 3 years can be everything. And I think the more tools as a practitioner that I have to get to young Americans earlier and encourage them to start saving is a good thing. And as a practitioner, I want my clients to be able to save earlier, which is exactly why we support the Helping Young Americans Save for Retirement Act and the Auto Re-Enroll Act. So speaking from a financial planning practitioner standpoint, I welcome additional tools that allow us to do that.
Yeah, it seems like we need to do better. I was a fan of these when we passed them, but I've become more of a fan in not just the monetary value, but in the cultural and educational value that they can have for young people, particularly young people that maybe don't come from families that have a lot of resources. I know I grew up in a family that would live pretty modestly, and I remember when I got my bank account and I would mow yards or do things and deposit a few more dollars, and I saw this interest, this interest thing that kept going up. It's something I think is an education, but also the insidious opposite of that is how inflation also eats into the value of that resource. I also have been a big fan of ESOPs, and we have legislation to try to do more employee ownership. And maybe, Mr. Williams, I don't know if you've dealt with any of your clients who've been in ESOPs. I just believe this is a great way for the people who start businesses to help their employees benefit from the success of those businesses and put them on firmer financial ground. Do you have any experience with those, and do you have any thoughts?
It's an important question. It's currently not a part of any product offering at Edward Jones, but we certainly value the employees owning ownership in a company. Edward Jones is actually a private partnership, 100% owned by the employees. And we believe that aligns well with our culture and makes our employees think differently like owners. And just to go back to your earlier point, Senator Husted, I run a variety of workplace plans across the country, one of which includes a diner. And recently, I had a young woman approach me, she's 18, and she worked at a diner. And these people often get up before dawn, and they cook breakfast for us. And she wanted to start saving. And she wasn't able to start saving because her plan didn't allow for eligibility. It was at age 21. And as a financial planning practitioner, that's really frustrating, especially when we give advice to say, we want you to start saving earlier, but we don't align policy to be able to do that. And so from a firm standpoint, we welcome conversations on expanding that.
Mr. Copeland, do you have thoughts on either of those topics?
Yes, I mean, I think from a corporate governance perspective, ESOPs are good in the sense that they align your workers' interests with your shareholders' interests, and so that can facilitate good labor management relations. And what you're talking about with young people is absolutely right. I didn't comment in my testimony on the senator's bills with Senator Kaine, but getting people started younger and giving them a nudge to try to get enrolled into these plans is common sense. It's something I always encourage my younger colleagues to do to the extent they can. So I applaud those efforts, all of them.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll just say I want to thank Michael Dell and his wife for what they did. I think that's I know we talk about how wealthy people, whether they contribute a lot in life. A guy that's giving $6 billion to help the poorest children in our country establish savings is a very noble deed, and I'm glad we created the foundation for that to happen. Thank you.